Hey, howdy, hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
Look who it is. We're counting the days, the hours, the minutes, the seconds, less than a month away. She'll be at Women in Ministry 2022. Toni Collier. Toni, how are you?
Gosh, I am so good and I'm so excited. This event's going to be good. I can feel it. I've watched some promo videos. I've kind of heard the stirring. I've gotten DMs on my Instagram. I'm excited, and a lot of women are excited too. So it's going to be great.
And we're not women, but we're excited too, because we're going to be there broadcasting live. It'll be the first time that we've broadcast live in 2 or 3 years now, Rick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I thought we'd take this opportunity now to see, because, you know, Toni, Dan, and I are tight. We've known each other for years and years. And I figure this is the time for Dan and I to do interpretive dancing behind you while you do your message.
Well, we didn't talk about that, unfortunately, but
that we are now.
Maybe,
so how, okay,
we have less than a month to figure it out. I don't know what that's going to look like. Maybe we're going to need some weekly practices. But I'm excited. I think.
Yeah. I can see the excitement on your face.
That's our boss now giving me the sign. doing that. No on the. Anyway, we'd never do that to you. Hey, listen, this is going to be awesome. We've had Women in Ministry for years and years, and there's something that happens, and there's so many dynamics to this. First of all, the ladies are excited to get together. You get a group like that together of ladies, it's like a beehive. It's unbelievable. And
lots of clucking going on,
and then putting you in that mix, I don't know if we'll ever be the same. How are we going to do that?
We won't ever be the same. I believe that. It is. I get to do a lot of women's events, and every time I get on stage, I'm just like, man, what a stunning room, because there's so many different facets and there's so much passion. There's so much beauty. It's really a beautiful environment. So I know it's going to be great.
So how is it different for you? I mean, because you speak at several different places, not just women's events, but mixed groups and everything. How is it different for you just speaking just directly to the women?
Yeah, well, I mean, Bishop Jake says this. He says, if I don't see me, it's not for me. And I think for years and years and years, we haven't seen ourselves in lots of ministry spaces. And so when you get into a room of people that are like you, that have the same experiences as you, that could be ethnicity, it could be just being a mom, like, you know, being in a room full of moms. When you get into a room of women that understand what it's like to be a woman, there's already a few layers that's already been broken down. So there's a sense of freedom, there's a sense of connection, there's a sense of feeling seen and known. And for me specifically, when I think about women in ministry, it's like a whole nother level of intimacy, because it's one thing to just be a woman. It's one thing to be a mom, but it's a whole nother ball game to know what it feels like to be in the trenches as a woman in ministry. And so this is just going to be electric in so many ways for me. And I'm so excited about it. It's going to be great.
Toni Collier with us live. We're talking about Women in Ministry, which is coming up May 10th. Ladies, it's just for you at the Cobb Energy Center. You can go ahead and sign up now, faithtalkatlanta.com. As Dan mentioned, we'll be broadcasting live. One of the highlights of the year for us, now it's been a couple of years because of COVID, but one of the highlights has always been to set up our studio right there in the midst. And, you know, when the ladies come in, we know it, because we can't hear each other talk. There's a lot of, but it's just
that's how we sound. That's great.
I mean, to us, I mean,
it's that excitement. And I think from what I understand, Ezra's trying to work out something that we have you on the show that morning before you go to speak. So we're excited about that, having you. Now, you mentioned about imparting to women, which is awesome, because they're going to go ahead and impart to other women, their daughters, their grandchildren.
Absolutely.
Who was it? Who your role models growing up spiritually? Women. Who were they?
Okay, I've got to say, Joyce Meyer was a big one. And it was because she did not do ministry like traditionally. It wasn't, necessarily tethered to a church or an organization. She created kind of her own way. So she was really big. Priscilla Shirer, I've got to say it. She just does something for me. One, maybe because she's from Texas. Okay, so really, that's just the bottom line. Texas all day. All right, we're a little crazy. We make some crazy choices.
We are.
We stand for it. Okay, we're like, I'm in it. And so Priscilla Shirer was really big for me. And even now, like just being able to be surrounded around other women in ministry. Lisa Harper's been a big influence, Joe Saxton, Ann Voskamp, Jenny Allen. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Jamie Ivey, even, she's a podcaster. She has an incredible podcasting show. But she's taken a whole different ministry lane. And so honestly, it's just been growing in such a beautiful way. But I really especially love like the Lisa Harpers of our day, because she's just a little crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm a little
Yeah.
crazy.
We gotta
And I'm a
have it.
little crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
gives me just some freedom to be exactly who God created me to be, while also just having the depth and connection and theological foundation that I need to work in the trenches.
So give us a little hint. What do you want to pour into these ladies? What can
I'm
they
excited.
expect?
Well, I think one of the things that we've been battling with is just the space of faith and our feelings. And the truth is, there is a balance, right? There's a pendulum here that we're holding and processing, where our faith and our feelings can coexist, our hope and our hurt can coexist. And I think we've just got to get better at it. We've seen so many ministry leaders fall, burn out, so many, just crazy things happening in our space. And I really am passionate and driven around this idea that if we can not only be Bible thumping, scripture quoting people, but also be whole, right? And healed or on a healing journey, what would happen is we'd start to really renew our mind, where we wouldn't just be able to spit out a scripture, but we'd also be able to be kind in crises, right?
Yeah.
We'd also
so
be
good.
able to have the ability to have a replenishment cycle so that we don't get burnt out. I think it's time for ministry leaders to be focused not on just what we're going to post today, but how are we going to withstand the long run of ministry? And I think it starts with being able to really integrate our entire beings in what we get to do for God. And so I'm going to pour into women. I'm going to equip them. I'm going to talk to them about healing journeys. I'm going to get super practical. We're not going to stay too just in the air. It's not just going to be so hope-filled, motivational, but we're going to talk about really, what does God think about my longevity in ministry and being the healthiest, most healed, most holy woman of God that I could be. So let's get me back.
I love how you said hope and hurt can coexist. And that is real. That is practical. I mean, how many times have we gone in one direction, like you say, and then the hurt part just kind of, there's conflict there, and we've ended up in a ditch. So thank you for being real and bringing that. And that's what everybody's hungry for now, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's been this huge wave of recognizing, okay, whoa, like there is a middle space here when it comes to joy and pain and hope and hurt. Now the job is, how do we do it well, right? And so that's kind of where we got to take that step further and really dive into it and put the practical around it.
Okay, so Toni, for the ladies who don't want to wait until May 10th, even though it's less than a month away, how can they keep up with you? Are you blogging? Are you podcasting? What are you doing? How can they keep up with you?
I'm doing all the things, y'all. So I'm writing a whole bunch. A lot of our content's filtered through my women's ministry brand. It's called Broken Crayons, Still Color. We're Broken Crayons and all the things: Instagram, Facebook, website. And a lot of content's been going through there. We've got devotionals, we've got blogs, we've got videos, all of that. I'm in the middle of book edits for my big book that comes out in the fall, which is kind of crazy. Can't even believe it. It's called Brave Enough to Be Broken. And so I'm kind of leaking some content for that over the next couple months as well. And so it'll be fun.
Hey,
awesome.
Wait a minute. I think we're setting up another interview here. So we've got to catch you and talk to you about that. You say the final edits, that process for you. This is not your first book, but the final process to get this, is that tough to kind of whittle it down and edit it, or is that just easy?
100%.
For you?
No, writing is the easy part because it's in you. It just kind of flows and you're like, I'm just going to put all my words out there. Editing it and refining it that's the real work right there. It's not easy. No.
Yeah, because it's like cutting out little parts of yourself. You're like, oh, I don't want to get rid of that.
Oh, okay, we can't see it. Okay, got it. Thank you guys so much. So
is there a publisher that's helping you to do that? Because if I were editing my own, I would leave stuff in that probably shouldn't be in there. And But I guess that's what publishers are for, right? They're there to kind of help you along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get to be a partner with HarperCollins Nelson Books.
Yeah.
And so they're just brilliant and they're helping me a lot. And then I hired a writing coach as well, just to make sure I stay on task and don't say anything crazy. Because again, we just got a little bit crazy in me. So.
All right, real quick.
It's that little bit of crazy that makes you just so fun, Toni. That's what.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. That's why we love you so much. All right, just curious. Who's easier to understand that they need to be brave enough to be broken, men or women?
I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna say it.
You get her in trouble now.
Women. It's women. It's women, but it's not because we were designed that way. It's because of how society has shaped us. I have 3 older brothers. We have a little boy on the way. One of the things that I've been processing is how in the world can I raise a man of God that can be completely honest and vulnerable and strong in the way that he feels and be able to verbalize that. And I just feel like that's been such a disadvantage that's been put on our men and boys. And I think that's a cultural thing. Yeah. I don't think it's something that we were designed not to do. So
preach it, sister.
I'll give y'all that.
Come on. Yes.
Hey, that's just a sample of the fire you're going to get on May 10th with Toni Collier. It's Women in Ministry. Sign up today, ladies. Cobb Energy Center. It's going to be rocking. Dan and I are going to be broadcasting live, and we're going to get to talk to Toni right before a little while before she goes on.
Then they kick us out because we're not women. So,
And, we had a meeting this morning, the boss, and we were going over what we have to say. There are things that we have to say on stage, just a little short, little small thing. And then he says, and then you guys get out of there.
You have to go. All right. You got to head on out.
But we know the lady's going to have a good time. All right. Again, Toni, give us your stuff so folks can follow you. But before May 10th.
Toni Collier on all the things, ToniCollier on Instagram, ToniJCollier.com, all the things. I'll be there hanging out, acting a fool,
Sweet. Can't wait till your book comes out and we can read it.
And we can't wait till the boy comes out.
This sweet Sam Jr.
Oh, that's awesome.
Little Sam Jr.
That's awesome. Yeah. You heard it right here. You heard it.
That's
right here. All right, we love you. We look forward to seeing you. We'll see you then. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk.